Welcome to Art Ed Radio, the podcast for art teachers. This show is produced by the Art of Education, and I'm your host, Tim Bogantz. Welcome to June. Welcome to the June Mailbag. Welcome to summertime if you were lucky enough to be out of school. Amanda Hine joining me, as always, for the Mailbag. Amanda, how are you?
I am great. I'm ready for summer. Actually, I'm ready for fall, but I will tolerate summer.
Okay,
This
that's fair.
fall's my favorite.
No, that's good. Fall is my favorite as well. Are your kids out of school?
Yes. I mean, not technically, but so close. They just have like
Okay.
field trip day. You know what I mean? And like field day and field trip day left.
Uh,
So,
do you volunteer at field day? And
oh,
overall, what are your feelings about field day?
literally, if someone doesn't get heat stroke on field day, it is a miracle. I've paid my dues working in the classroom. I'm not volunteering on a field day. No,
Yeah.
thank you. How about you?
I think field day is fun. I don't mind it. Kids really seem to enjoy it. As far as art goes, I think there's a couple good directions you can go, either like sidewalk chalk or face painting, I think
Yeah,
are the good options. Or even better yet, just mindlessly supervising the water balloon toss is like a good
yeah,
option. You don't
totally.
have to do art related things just because you're an art teacher. So
That's true.
I'm just I don't know, mixed feeling. Like the kids love it. I'm indifferent to it, but overall, I think it's a good thing.
Can I tell you a quick story about field day?
Yes, please.
At my first, maybe I've told this before, I can't remember. At my first school, it was all the teachers against each other. For like there was like staff Olympics.
Okay.
Okay. And all of the specialist teachers were on a team, but they didn't have like a team color, but all of the other teachers did. So I worked at a pretty big school. There were like four sections of each grade, right? So like
Okay.
fourth grade was orange and
Right.
second grade was green, whatever. And then all of the teachers on those teams would wear their colors, and then all the kids would wear the colors and they'd cheer for their teachers, and no one ever cheered for the specialist teachers
Oh yeah.
before I came, because what I decided to do was like, well, the specialist team is now the rainbow team. And do you
Okay.
know what that means? That means everybody cheers for us.
I love
And
it.
also, we won the tug of war. And it was
There you
one of the
go.
best times of my life.
I love it. I love it. Did you do like rainbow order t-shirts for the team?
I did tie-dye t-shirts, and then I
Okay.
also made a giant like rainbow sparkly flag. And that is how I unveiled my plan.
I love it.
And I think people respected me, but I don't know that they liked it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Right. I don't know, you're kind of stealing the thunder from the fourth grade purple team or whatever.
Yeah, but
So,
like they made it bad first. So sorry that I had a good creative idea. No,
yeah,
they were all cool with it, and I do love a lot of those people that I used to work with.
good, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Before we get started, housekeeping things. Just a lot of exciting stuff going on in the community. 2 weeks ago, I think there is a post about the topics that we don't talk enough about as art teachers. And oh my goodness, where there's some great answers and some great discussion
Yeah.
going there. So, any highlights out of that from you?
I think just the fact about how hard it is. I think a lot of teachers just like push that inside, and
Yes.
they feel bad complaining because like all teachers have it hard, but I just feel like art teachers have it special hard in special ways. It just, that whole thread was just like very validating to read through.
Yeah,
A lot of like you're
absolutely.
not alone. So if you haven't, maybe we can link to that in the show notes, and if you want to go check that out and add your own, you should do that.
Yes. Yeah, and even if you don't want to add, if you just want to read and realize that,
Hmm.
oh yeah, there are some very different challenges that we face as art teachers, and other art teachers are facing those same things. Like you said, it's very validating. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely link to that. Let's see what else is going on. Art Club is this week. Jen Lieben, a friend of the pod, friend of all of us in the community.
Friend to
She's
all, really. Jen has
she
the best vibes of anyone I know.
I
Shout
know,
out
and
Jen.
also, she's been doing Instagram stories all the time, and it's so fantastic.
You're
Just,
so good.
just a great energy coming from Jen all the time. She's doing fantastic flip books, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That's happening Thursday. If you're listening to the show when it comes out on Tuesday, June 5th, it's happening 6 p.m. Central Time. So that'll be a great art club. And is Pop-Up Studio coming soon also, I believe?
Yes. That is Monday, June 16th at 6 p.m., both in the community. You can find that at community.theartofeducation.edu.
I love it. We
Um,
are we are just a couple minutes in and we've already linked like four things in the show
it
notes.
should
It's
be the
great.
first thing that we do. Yes.
Very quick story time before we get into our questions. What do you have to tell us about?
Oh my gosh. Well, I graduated
You
from
did.
grad school.
Congratulations.
The amount of mental energy that I have right now is so great, but I can't stop doing stuff. I'm
Hmm.
not good at relaxing. And so, what I've done since I've graduated is not relax or do anything like celebratory. I've organized every paper in my filing cabinet and also gone through all of every drawer in every room, and we're having a giant garage sale. So if any listeners have any ideas of like how I can relax and stop doing work, I would really love that. Please email podcast at theartofeducation.edu and tell me your secrets.
Seems fair. Seems fair.
Yeah.
I like that.
What about you?
Um, well, I will need to make this quick, but we can't get into late spring, early summer without some garden talk.
Heck
So
yeah.
first blooms are coming in. I'm very excited about all of them. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast. I don't think so. Baby cardinals in my backyard. So, like, I know we've
I
heard all the
have mixed
stories
feelings.
about your cardinals and the worst bird ever, but these baby cardinals are doing great in my yard, and so. What I've done is make sure that like these cardinals have everything they need to like survive and make this work. So we got bird feeder, we got the bird bath going, just like everything
Hmm.
that we need. And because of that, like all of the birds are coming in, and then there's squirrels, there's bunny. It's like a freaking wildlife
Like
sanctuary
you're
in my
Snow
backyard.
White.
I really am like snow. Actually, they run away when I come close, but I can watch from the window and they're everywhere and it's very nice. So I don't know, just between native plants and everything the birds need, it's looking great back there. It makes me
That sounds
very
really
happy.
nice.
And no cardinals attacking my window like they do with you. So it's peaceful.
Right. You
It's good.
know, the one, I don't know, just go back and listen to all the episodes if you need the saga, but the cardinal that has been ruining my life, like it just like comes and like bonks the window like one time, like once a week. I feel like he's just like it's either threatening or like saying hi. Maybe he's maturing. I don't really know.
I was just gonna say he's maturing.
Yeah, he's maturing. And I still get a little bit of like, "Ugh," like, is this starting again? But it hasn't. He's
Okay.
just coming for a visit.
Okay. Good.
So knock on wood.
He spent a lot of quality time with that window, and so he's got to stop by
Yeah.
every once in a while. Oh man. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into our questions. We had so many voicemails come through. We had so many questions come through. We're not going to be able to answer all of them, but thank you all so much for sending them. What we are going to do is we're going to make this a double podcast. We'll do part one right now in the podcast feed, and then we are going to record another entire episode. And part
Yeah, we
two
are.
is going to be exclusive to the Art of Ed community. So, Amanda, do you want to tell people how they can find that?
Yes. So, okay, part two will be linked in the show notes. You're going to head to that same link I already said, community.theartofeducation.edu. On the left-hand side, you're going to look for community perks in the sidebar, and then just look for bonus content, and you'll find it right there.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. I love it. Let's go ahead and get to our questions. Amanda, would you like to officially start the episode?
Yes, let's go ahead and open up the mailbag.
All right. The first question, this is going to be a voicemail from Pam.
Hey, Amanda and Tim. This is Pam. I teach in Hartford at the middle school. And just a question for you, wondering how do you politely tell people to stop dropping things off in the art room just because they don't want it in their classroom anymore? I came across all of this as I was cleaning, and every time I clean an area, I find more stuff that's been dropped off when I'm not in my room. And just wondering if you could kind of approach that, and how do you approach that, people that want to get rid of their stuff but don't want to know who dropped it all off? Thanks. Have a great day.
Amanda, would you like to reply to what Pam had to say about all of the crazy things being dropped off in her room?
Yes. First, I have to say the only thing that I've wanted to happen since we started this podcast is for people to call us and leave us a voicemail. And now it's happening, and I'm elated. So, number one, thanks, Pam. Okay. This question is so good. If I can be very real for a second, this used to annoy me so much. One time somebody dropped off 23 wooden spools. One time somebody dropped off a musty box of yarn, and like why do you think I want garbage? You know what I mean? Okay, but Pam did not call us just so we could vent. So I do have some thoughts. Okay, step one, which as you might be gathering can be tricky for me, is to assume positive intent, right?
Fair.
Like people think that you want this stuff. They know your budget doesn't go as far as you want it to. They think they are being helpful. So let's just celebrate for a moment that people, for the most part, are probably trying to be kind.
Yeah.
Okay, also we need step two, which is set a boundary. Okay, you cannot be the like distribution center for all of this stuff,
Yeah. Fair.
because also like they're getting rid of it, but they're also putting it on you to figure out what you want to do with it if you don't want it. And that is not okay. So this could look a few ways. I think if it were me, what I would do is a two-pronged approach. So first, I would send a kind email that said something like, I've been so touched by those of you who have dropped things off to donate. Unfortunately, I don't have room to store everything, and I need to be selective about what I can accept. So if you have something in your room that you think would be a good fit for the art room, please ask me first before dropping it off. Some people are not gonna they're going to pretend they didn't see that. They're going to
Right.
conveniently forget that they read that. They're not even going to read it. So I would also create a sign to put in the area where you are getting these like treasures that says, "Thanks for your generosity. Please check if the art room can accept your donation before leaving things in this area." And then you can leave your phone number or your email or whatever, however you prefer to be contacted. But that's how I would handle that.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Now, I have kind of the opposite approach, and I don't know if that's because I'm just more relaxed or because I don't want to confront people, or maybe I just have
Because we're
some hoarding
opposite in every
tendencies.
way.
Yes, basically. So, honestly, I don't want to miss out on what could be something good. And so I'll just take whatever people are turning over to me, and we'll take a look. If it's something I can use, we'll put it on the shelf, we'll put it in the closet. If not, we'll just take it to the trash, or more specifically, actually have one of my students just take it to the trash and call that good. So I would just let the donations keep coming. But again, it's obviously bothering
Yeah, that is
people
not
like
what
you,
Pam
Amanda.
asked
I know
us.
it's obviously bothering Pam as well. And so I think the polite approach is exactly what you laid out, Amanda. So I think that's good. But again, if it's me, I'm gonna just accept it
I
and be
just
fine
feel
with
like
it.
this is a metaphor. Like art teachers don't have to accept other people's garbage.
That's very fair.
Okay.
That's an excellent point.
Okay. Okay, thanks,
Oh,
Pam.
all right. Now, I know you just said how much you love voicemails, but the next question was an email we got, and I thought it was great. I thought it was something we needed to talk about. And this comes from Jen in Massachusetts. Kind of long, but all important points. Jen says, AI is something that I'm very hesitant to get on board with. She talks about how a lot of teachers are really kind of jumping on board. Some of her colleagues are really coming in hard with AI. And Jen says, at first I thought it's because I'm an older millennial and maybe resistant because I didn't understand it. Then I thought about my artist friends who are very anti AI because of copyright infringement and the devaluation of creativity. But honestly, the most blaring reason I'm avoiding AI is all of the information I've heard from reputable climate publications describing how unsustainable and wasteful AI prompts can be. And she says, I understand that AI can be helpful in many ways, but to me, it's horrifying to think of how wasteful it is to use AI for art when we already have brains and imaginations. Please help me reckon with this. Excellent question. Amanda, thoughts for Jen?
Yeah. Okay. Well, just know, Jen, that I am also coming at this as an elder millennial. Okay. And I've been thinking a lot about this too. So here is where I have landed. The caveat is for now, because I feel like this changes day to day sometimes. But for now, here's my thoughts. Number one, AI is not going away. Like
Right,
it's here.
right.
And if kids don't understand how to use it, they're going to be left behind. And also, if we don't teach our kids how to think without it, they're going to be left behind. Because, like, we're just in a weird time right now, and the vibes are bad. Okay. The vibes are not good. So
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I do think that it's something that kids need to understand. And they have to retain their creativity and their ability to think independently because that is actually where the value is going to lie when they enter the workforce. So what we cannot do is just stick our head in the sand about it. Like it's fundamentally changing the way things work, and we have to understand it so that we can help our kids navigate tricky questions, to your point, like what does responsible use look like? What are the implications of using it? How does it relate to copyright? How do we think about art created with this new
Mhm.
technology, right? So you do have to understand it. However,
Can I jump in real quick and just add
yes.
one thing? Just last week's episode with Oscar Keys and Erica Osier, just talking about all things digital art, and they made a great point about how digital natives, and we think of kids understanding all this technology just because they grew up with it. That whole idea of digital natives is kind of a myth, and I
Yeah.
see that kind of repeating here with AI, where we are just assuming that kids are exploring it on their own. They know what to do with it because it's something technological, and they play around with it. But as you just said, there are so many questions that we need to dive deeper on, that we need to understand. We need to help our kids understand and help them grapple with and navigate all of those questions as well. And so I think just going back to that discussion from last week, it's really important for us as teachers to do things like that. So,
Mm-hmm. 100%. That was such a good episode. So yeah, like if you're interested in technology, you should go back and listen. Um, Okay, all that said, you do not have to be using AI for everything or even at all. Like,
yeah.
we fully support you not using AI to make art in your art room often or ever. Again,
Yes.
might a day lesson about it and, discussion about it be good for your kids? Yes, I think so. But like, if you don't want to use it in your classroom, I think that's valid and fair. But you might be pressured to use AI in other ways as an educator. So, a lot of schools are picking up licenses, for AI programs, or having workshops about using them to grade or give feedback, or a whole host of things. So two things that I'm currently doing to sort of mitigate my own AI usage are anytime I'm doing a Google search, you can add minus AI to the end of your search, and it will
Mhm.
stop Google from giving you the AI summary at the top. So like I realized like just even by Google searching, it was forcing me to use AI all the time. And like most of the time I don't need that summary. I actually know kind of what I'm looking for and I'm trying to double check
Right, right.
something, or I don't want to actually take the time to vet the AI summary because there's no
Yes,
guarantee that that is
yes.
correct. So doing that has made me feel better of just like, just eliminating that from my search. But the other thing is trying to craft the best prompt possible at the start. So I need fewer iterations. So like water is talked about a lot, right, with AI. And every time you use ChatGPT, it's like pouring out a bottle of water. And like keeping
Hmm.
that in the back of my mind is really helpful. I try to be as specific as possible and give it every piece of information it needs to, do the best job with the task I've given it up front so that I have to use it less, I guess. So looking up this is called prompt engineering, if you're not familiar with that term. So looking up some tips for prompt engineering might make you feel better about using it if you have to. But really in this new age, like the skills students are learning in the art room, particularly creative thinking and problem solving, are going to be so important in navigating the future. So I say just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent answer. I want to talk just briefly, I think, about the sustainability part of things, the environmental side of AI. As my daughter, she's a high school junior, but she's huge into sustainability, environmental justice, all that. And she had sent me an infographic about ChatGPT, about, how its use, you know, really uses up a lot of water, but it's very little in comparison to even like watching TV and the energy that comes with that.
Mm,
Or, like eating a hamburger uses like 660
sure.
gallons of water. And then
Yeah.
compare that to all the leaky pipes in the United States and how much water that wastes. And I don't know if that made me feel better about ChatGPT or just worse about everything else. But there are other options out there. My daughter recommended Perplexity AI, supposed to be more sustainable, and I know she uses like a different internet browser that has a lot of sustainable practices. So there are options out there if you want to try and be more responsible about your use. I would encourage you to look those up. Personal note, like I love using AI for writing, doing prompts, streamlining some of my work, saving a lot of time. But I really dislike it for any kind of imagery.
Yeah.
Not only because of the ethical issues, but also it returns some really crappy stuff. Like it looks terrible, and I don't love any of that. And so with that being said, I told Jen like it's okay to be resistant for any reason, whether it's
Hmm.
ethical or educational or any other reason you have, but you still need to understand how AI works. And I think the better we understand that, the more you can clarify why you're resistant to it. And then if there are ways you want to use it responsibly, great. If you want to share those with your kids, I think that's really, really a good way to go about it. So just spend a little bit of time kind of understanding it, and then you can decide how you want to approach after that.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. It's another voicemail for you. This one is from Catherine.
Hi, this is Catherine Kasparovich. I teach in Reading, Pennsylvania at two small Catholic schools, elementary. And my question is, how do you deal with multiple class packs of markers where some are working and some are not? And then if I have to order more, I just don't know if I should get rid of a whole box and start fresh and just not worry about the other ones, but I feel guilty not using them all up. And then also, too, any storage options for markers and any advice for that, because I'm always at a loss. Thanks so much, and thank you for everything that you do.
Oh, these voicemails are just really giving me life. I just really like to hear from people. Okay, class packs. In general, big fan. It's often more cost effective to buy supplies this way. I would not get rid of good markers and start fresh when some start running out. Instead, I would get rid of them as they go bad. And in my experience, there's at least a few kids in every class, and sometimes all the kids in all the classes who love nothing more than testing markers as an early finisher job. Like they just love to do it. I don't know. And then they like carry their little marker testing sheets out as like a badge of pride, like at the end of class. So get the kids to do that. That is a kid job at any age. Like kindergartners can test markers. And if you find yourself running out of specific colors more regularly, like for me in my classroom, it was always blue. The blue markers always went first because, the kids are just coloring the skies and the oceans.
Yes.
It's like the day the crayons quit. Isn't the blue crayon the littlest crayon?
Oh, I have not read that in a while, but that does sound right.
I think
Yeah.
so. But anyway, many companies offer the ability to purchase colors separately. So you can get like a box of 12 blue or a box of 12 black markers. So I would investigate that. The second part was about storage. So for me in my classroom, I kept a table caddy on each table with frequently used supplies, which were scissors, glue sticks, pencils, and markers. I taught elementary, so your mileage may vary there, but the markers lived in there. And then if colors ran out, if there was a dried out marker, then I would just replenish it. I just swap it out from my class pack box, which I kept in storage. So.
Yeah. Okay. All great. I will say you mentioned that even kindergartners can test markers, and I'm just going to tell you, like, kids still love testing markers when they're in high school. Like,
I like testing markers, quite honestly.
right. And everybody loves doing that. So if you can just recruit some help there, that's always good. I just had a drawer or two drawers of markers in with my other storage things, one with warm colors, one with cool colors. And that usually worked out just fine. And then if kids thought a marker was going bad, I'd have them put it on my desk, and we had a collection that needed to be tested. Because sometimes, they'll be about out, but still have a little life in them. Mm-hmm. And if you give kids carte blanche to throw things away,
sure,
they're going to throw everything away.
Yeah.
So don't try that. But just have them run it through you if they think it's running out, and then you can test those later on. And my kids always went through black first because I think they like outlining everything.
Yeah.
Like having those sharper edges. So
yeah,
just my experience. And then when I got to advanced classes, I would buy like the really nice markers out, like the Prismacolors. And I'm in charge of that because,
yeah, right.
Those walk away real quickly. But having those nicer sets for kids who want to do advanced work, I think is part of the deal with markers for those kids as well.
Yeah. Also,
okay.
I bet a lot of people know this listening, but if you don't, you can pull the bottom cap off and pull out the inside. Even if the marker is like dried out, you can put it in water and you can make your own liquid watercolors. So
much fun. And
hot tip.
I don't know if it's a hot tip. It's been around for a while.
Tip. It's a medium warm tip. It's a
lukewarm tip for you. Okay, our next email is from Anonymous, and the question is, gonna just come out and say it. I'm finishing my first year, and I feel like a failure, LOL. Classroom management was bad, lessons were bad, felt like everything was bad. How do I know if I'm cut out to be a teacher? I think I want to come back next year, but I'm gonna have to be better. Where do I start, and how do I make it so I'm not a failure as a teacher? This is a heavy question right here, Amanda. So
like it isn't, because here's the thing. Congratulations. You are normal.
Yes.
Really,
like everyone has gone through this.
Everybody feels like a failure after the first year. In fact, I would argue caring enough to reflect and realize that things did not go as you planned makes you a great teacher, and like signifies you are cut out for teaching because it's going to take you really far. should you continue to stay in the career? So, first, you are not a failure. Like you just made it through your first year of teaching, which is so hard. Did some things in your class fail? Like, yeah, highly likely.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
probably.
we've all been there. Like, would you like to ask me about the time I tried to pass back 150 prints to kids sitting in a circle one at a time? Like, what? Like, what was that? Or like, I tried to teach 30 kids how to make rag rugs, which includes braiding, tying knots, sewing. Like, kids were
Mm.
literally crying, and so was I. You know what I mean? We
Oh,
all have these
but that's
stories
the
from
thing, like everybody has those stories.
yes. So, okay, here are three questions I would ask yourself. Number one, what specifically about your year made you feel like a failure? So you mentioned a couple of brief things, but like, was it how the projects turned out? Was it that the kids didn't like the projects? Was it that the projects took too long? Like, what was it about classroom management? Was your cleanup insane? Were transitions where things fell apart? Like, get really specific. And
Hmm.
then number two, out of that list, which one made you feel the worst, right? Because, like, what we're not going to do is try to fix everything at once on day one next school year, because that's a real recipe for failure. Okay. Like, you cannot work on everything all at the same time. So, you're going to pick one thing that you feel would make the biggest impact if you improved with it. And then you're going to think about just one small concrete step that you could take towards learning more about that. So, some ideas for you is you could search the AOE magazine because there's lots of amazing free resources there. You could make a post in the Art of Ed community asking for advice. Certainly join if you're not a member yet.
Hmm. Hmm.
It requires a little vulnerability, but like people are so kind in there. Like
Yes.
you will get good responses.
Yes.
You can also go out to dinner with a teacher friend to vent and brainstorm, right? Like lean
Hmm.
on the people that you know. So, just like in general, remember, no one has it figured out. We're all learning. If your district is willing to get you flex curriculum or pro learning, if you don't already have it, there is so much support there, especially for new teachers. So plug for that. That's great. But also just like come on into the community and start asking questions.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I don't know. I think you made all of the correct points, Amanda. And, maybe it was a failure every year, maybe not. But the important thing is like you care enough to reflect, you care enough to get better. And that's the key. And so, yeah, I would say, like Amanda said, just drill down into what you think was get as specific as you can as far as what was not working, and then figure out how to fix that, whether that is routines, whether that is how you organize your classroom, whether that is how your lessons are presented, whatever the case may be. Like there's going to be room for improvement, and there are a lot of resources that can help you with that. So spend some time researching, spend some time talking about those specific things that you want to fix. And as you get back into it in the fall, you'll be in so much better shape. Just from spending a little time reading, thinking, reflecting over the summer, you're going to be able to start so much more successfully next year. And are you going to fix everything in year two? Definitely not.
No,
Like,
the
you know,
rag rugs, that was year two. Okay.
no, but honestly, even like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years
Yeah,
in, I'm
totally.
still
Yeah.
learning things, still getting better. And so as long as you realize that you're not going to be a finished product in year two or year three, and realize there's always room to get better, as long as you still have that curiosity and that drive to research and to improve what you're doing in the classroom, you're on the right track to becoming a very successful teacher.
Yep.
Okay, next question is from Tyler in Arizona. Tyler says, does anyone else have kids that argue over literally everything? Like literally every word I say to them, they have to argue back. They're not even thinking, it's just an automatic response. I watch them do something, they say, I didn't do it. I tell them something, they say, you never told me that. Every single thing. I have lots of questions. Why? Why do they do this? How do I keep it from driving me crazy? How do I handle it in my classroom?
Just like, Tyler, do you live in my own personal house? Like, why do we have to discuss brushing our teeth every day? It's just something we have to do. Okay. First question, why? The first question I like is actually why? Why do they do this?
Yes.
I don't know. I think there are two main reasons. So, depending on the age of your kids, that upper elementary, lower middle school group is like doing a lot of testing. You know what I mean? Like, I
Hmm.
have one of these in my own
Hmm.
home, and I literally say out loud, like, testing, testing, one, two, three. Like, don't do that. It only makes them madder. Don't
I
take
was gonna
parenting
say
advice
that
from
that
me.
feels like something that entertains you rather than actually solves the problem.
Yeah, that's not a solution. But they're seeing what they can get away with, right? Is it going to work today? Is it going to work this way? If I change it, is that going to get me the result I want? I think second, a lot of kids will just do this for attention. A lot
Yeah.
of kids like
Yep.
attention from grown-ups, even if it's negative, which is
Hmm.
so fun. So is this normal? Yes. Is it annoying? Yeah. I don't know.
Also, yes.
Tim, do you have ideas?
Oh, yes and no. Again, like you said, it's what they do at this age, and so I don't know how you keep it from driving you crazy because it's going to continue to happen. As for the question as to why, I think it works for them,
Yeah.
especially at home. Like if they argue, they get out of consequences, they get out of things they don't want to face, and so just in a lot of situations, it works for them. So they need to know that it's not going to work for them in your classroom if you want to
Yeah.
shut this down. You need to make it clear that, talking back, that arguing, that whatever you don't want them to do, just make it clear that that's not going to happen in your classroom. One thing that always works for me, especially if I come over and say, hey, I need you all to stop talking while I'm, presenting. And then they'll come back, well, I wasn't talking. And then I just tell them, like, this is not a discussion right now. I just
Yeah.
need you to listen. Okay. And so I'm giving you instruction. I'm giving you direction. I need you to follow through with what I'm telling you. Just sit and listen for a second and then do what I'm asking you to do. And that's not a skill that every kid has. And so you need to teach them how to listen. You need to teach them how to follow directions. You need to teach them how to accept consequences. And so say, hey, when I come over and tell you X, I need you to do Y. And, that gets annoying to repeat over and over. But if you're consistent with it, you're never going to eliminate these behaviors, but you can minimize them for sure.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of teachers really like to argue back with kids, because it's fun and it feels good,
Mhm.
right? And you're smarter and bigger, so you're going to win those arguments. But I would just advise that, like, when you argue back with kids, you're signaling to them that this is an issue worth arguing about,
Yeah.
and that's never going to go well in the long run for you. So just do your best to kind of keep a calm and cool demeanor. Be very clear about what your expectations are, and just be consistent with how you follow through on all those.
Yeah, I would go back also to a similar problem we talked about recently, which was kids not being able to handle the word no. And
Correct.
that's just make your expectations so clear. They're written on the board, they're written on posters. You do not deviate from them because then there isn't as much to argue about because they actually know the answer. And I think two phrases we talked about last time were, did you not understand what I said or did you not like it?
Yes.
And also, you already asked that and I already answered. And then that just gets shortened to asked and
Yes, I
answered
really appreciate your
every,
asked and answered approach. That's a good
yeah,
one.
just like we already talked about this, like knock it off. So, anyway, those are a couple of other strategies that are worth resurfacing for this question.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, we have one final question. Amanda, I've read a couple. We've had a couple voicemails. Would you like to read the final question?
Sure. This is from Cass Penniger, maybe? Sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly, from the community. How do I encourage students to stay creative over the summer and continue to make things, even if they are a small or daily doodle, without making it official summer work?
Oh, that's good. That's an excellent question. I think the key word there is to encourage them. I don't think you can expect kids to create over the summer for a lot of different reasons. So I would say just go into that assignment without expectations on your end. Just give them the opportunity, give them the prompts or the ideas to get started, and cross your fingers and hope that you get some cool stuff back. And I would say just, make it fun, give them a lot of options. My summer work that I always send home with kids is just a list of fun and creative things that they can do. Some of them are small, some are big. All of them are kind of different. And then also just a huge list of drawing prompts, just so they can find something that intrigues them. Like if you give them a list of 50 different drawing prompts, like they should be able to find something. And so
Hmm.
if they have a little bit of motivation, you just give them that opportunity and they can go from there. We have a ton of drawing prompts from the Art of Ed that we can share with you in the show notes as well. And one thing that we've talked on here a lot about is the small C side of creative from Andreas Luzarski and the psychology of creativity. It's got a whole matrix of creativity, but part of that is the small C creative things that we do every single day, and just reminding kids that those are creative things, whether it is just a quick journaling thing or a sketch that they do or a fun way that they're organizing their dinner plate. Like it can be just the
Yeah.
tiniest little thing, but just remind them that those creative endeavors are out there for them. They don't have to create masterpieces. They don't have to bring back huge, beautiful paintings. But if they're just exercising those creative muscles in little ways every day, that can be incredibly worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree here that all you can really do is encourage. Some kids are not going to take you up on this or have the means or the supplies or the support at
Right,
home
right.
also to take you up on this. But just like you said, Tim, just giving them something to remind them to be creative is a great strategy. We actually have two articles with downloadable resources that you can print and make copies and distribute to your kids. Each resource, they're a little bit different, but the idea is similar. They have specific ideas and prompts for kids to do over the summer. So one is called a summer supply list and art challenge to empower your students. And the other one is called help your students make the most of their break with a summer art challenge. And we can link both of those for you. And then it's done for you and you can just use it.
Very nice. Makes it very easy. But yeah, great question. Great
Yeah.
reminder as we're heading into the summer here. All right. So we're going to wrap up part one right now. But as we said in the beginning, we have so many voicemails, so many questions to get through. We are going to do part two. So if you want to watch or listen to part two, head on over to the Art of Ed community. We're linking to all the spots you need to know in the show notes there. And we will catch you over there for part two. Thank you to Amanda. Great time as always recording the mailbag. We will have all of the links that we promised in the show notes for you, including the link to the community where you can listen to part two of the June mailbag. Very excited for you to hear that or see that, however you want to consume it in the community. But there are so many more great questions, great voicemails. We appreciate everything that y'all contributed. But we will also link to all of the resources that we mentioned, all the discussions that we talked about, and you can dive a little bit deeper with any of that. We have a lot of very cool episodes coming up for the rest of June. Make sure you continue to join us throughout the summer here, and very excited to be back next week with you. Art Ed Radio is produced by the Art of Education with audio engineering from Michael Crocker. Thank you, as always, for listening to this show. Please share this episode with someone who might find it worthwhile. And if you're loving the podcast, we would love a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. We appreciate the ratings and the reviews.